Okay, it's day 169. This is part one. And if you didn't see yesterday, I was unsuccessful yet again trying to get Rahm Emanuel his Bitcoin from Imran. Here's a excerpt from it. I'm yelling, can you wave a flag of some type to let me know you're there? Can you wave a USAID flag potentially? Can you wave a flag of Pakistani farmers? Can you wave a map of the Pakistani farmers' land you might have stole? I'm imploring him to wave some type of flag here, and he is not waving the flag. So it was unsuccessful. So moving right along, if you're not aware of the other article I referenced, which was a Chicago Tribune article of 2005, it's talking about this Melissa Bean and her BlackBerry. And it's talking about, hey, her calendar is sent directly to us here at the BlackBerry, regardless of where she is. I also get her documents. We also send her PDF documents to brief her. So these are going to be coming from all those SES folks. And of course, it's also going to be going to Pakistan. And at that time, way back then, 2005, Imran was doing IT technology for 8 members of Congress. So you just have people send whatever document you want, and then, of course, you forward terabytes on to Pakistan. This is going on since 2005. Then you can see where they say how indispensable BlackBerry is. So this is not a new thing. A lot of people talked about total information awareness. This series on BBC, which was The Last Enemy, if you want to check it out. This is Benedict Cumberbatch played this part. I referenced the Minority Report, where total information awareness allows these precognitive kind of autist cops to predict crime. And I'm not sure that we didn't exactly end up with this. Peter Thiel just won an $876 million contract with the Army. You wonder if it's not out of Fort Belvoir under another name. I looked up a lot of the Peter Smiths because I walked by where Peter Smith worked at the Wrigley Building through our plum book, and here's just a random sample of Smiths. And I just noticed this guy here at Social Security, and then he was still working in the administration. This Peter B. Smith, not the Peter Smith that died in the Mayo Clinic with the helium, but this Peter Smith is the Social Security Administration analyst and so forth. So I just thought I would show you. But he moves from Housing and Urban Development over to Social Security Administration. I don't know if that's a path that's taken very often. But again, it just seems like they all start out in Homeland Security as lawyers and then they infiltrate across the board. I guess that's the point I'm making here. Pick a lane, I guess is what I'm saying, and become a deep expert in your lane rather than just becoming this journeyman lawyer that can be infiltrated into wherever a political party might want to infiltrate you. Here's another one. Here's Laura Smith, and she is providing expertise in NOAA. We know NOAA. And even though she's SES, she leaves the government after, you can see here, after the election is lost. And you can see kind of how these titles go. Deputy chief to the senior staff of the undersecretary. If you don't have one of those types of titles in Washington, you're really not much of anything. And of course, the ubiquitous George Washington University Law School. This I'm seeing over and over again with the masters of some kind of business training, and then the Georgetown Law, and then you become kind of this CIA lawyer that can move and be infiltrated at a whim. Here's the last one I'll do, which is Wendon D. Smith. And again, you're going to find he was one of these weapons of mass destruction people, and he actually moves up, even though Trump, with the Trump election, sorry about that, he moves up the ladder. He was the deputy assistant, 2005 to 2017, and Trump actually ends up promoting him. But the real Smith I want to talk to about is this guy here. Here he is in the Plum Book. This is Michael Mayo Smith, and of course, Peter Smith made me think of the Mayo Clinic and made me think of these Veterans Integrated Service Networks. And there was a reporter by the name of Kemble, I believe it was Sarah Kemble, that said, "Oh, everything is going wrong, not just organ harvesting, but appointments for friends. They're bringing in people from other countries. The veterans are waiting forever. I mean, just about everything." And of course, she died immediately after that. But This gentleman here was one of 3 regional VISN directors, this Mayo Smith, to lose his job. Shulkin, right before he left, was able to fire 3 of them. One was New England, the other was Arizona. Of course, Arizona is very famous. Arizona, New Mexico, and Southern California. And then West Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. was also the other person to go. We had that horrific report about the D.C., Washington, D.C. VA. So Virginia and Maryland Virginia still stays in place. I'll get that name for you as we move forward. But you can see Shulkin was kind of trying to throw everyone else under the bus to try to save his job. But in actual fact, we finally shucked Shulkin. So progress is made along the way in this series. I every once in a while, I need to stop and take an accounting of it and just say we are being effective by getting facts out to the public and getting whistleblowers' names like Kemball's names out in the public. It is having the effect on the Trump administration, and we are getting out these SES folks that are really clogging up the mill.